Hi, I'm Denise from This and That with Denise Jordan, and in this video I'm going to show you how I plant up this container to a nice container garden. Let's get to work. Welcome to This and That with Denise Jordan. I teach women how to make wise home health and beauty decisions so there's less chaos in their homes, they lead healthier lives, and they feel beautiful from the inside out. And as I said earlier, I am going to plant up this container. And when you're planting a container garden, the first thing you need to think about is the size of your container. And this container is pretty good size. I could put anywhere from 7 to 9 plants in it. This container here is a bit smaller, so I put anywhere from about 3 to 5 plants depending upon their size. Sometimes I stuff in a few more because I like my containers to be overly full, but then that requires me to water quite a bit. But just keep in mind that the smaller the container, the more you have to water. Bigger is definitely better when it comes to your container sizes. The other thing is, the larger the container, the more dirt and root room you've got, so your plants can get the nutrition, the nourishment that they need. The second thing you want to think about is plant selection. One of the things you want to think about when you're buying your plants is you want to make sure they have similar light and water needs. That's very important. And then also think about the colors that you might want to use. I had thought about using these plants in this container. Then I decided I might want to put this one in the container. So I'm not sure. We'll see what I end up with. I'll try them out and we'll see what works. But again, make sure you look at lighting and watering needs for your plants, because you don't want to mix plants that aren't comfortable with the same amount of moisture and light. The other thing I think about when it comes to plant selection is foliage and different contrasting of the foliage, textures of the leaves and that kind of thing, because you want something that's going to be pleasing to the eye. So I've got quite a few things here. We'll see what ends up in the pot. Now the other thing that's really important is the soil that you use. I like to use Miracle-Gro's moisture control because it helps you kind of retain the moisture in the soil, keeps me from watering too much. Try to buy the best soil that you can, because when you buy some of that cheap stuff, what ends up happening is that it runs down all around the side of the container and it doesn't really soak into the soil. So buy the best that you can. I think I'd like to try this lavender plant in this container this year. I'll take it out later in the fall, but I think I'd like to try it here for right now. It just smells so good. And I'd like to have that smell when I'm sitting on the porch or when I'm walking by. So I'm going to sit this here just to kind of see what I think. Now what I'll do is just set the plants in here and see how I think they're going to look before I actually take them out of their pot and put them in. I'll just kind of put them in and we'll see what I think. The other thing is you want to have a thriller, which is something that's kind of tall, a filler, which will fill in around it, and then a spiller, something that spills out. Such as that. So let me take a look at these plants that I've got here and see which ones I think are going to work out. Thanks. I'll put this toward the back, which is going to be right there. And I think I want to follow up with the pinks on each side. This will help complement the planter that's over there. And this grass can get pretty tall too, so I'll put it right there. I think I'm liking this arrangement right here. I'm going to put the lavender in that container, and it may just be in there by itself. But I'm liking these pinks back here. And one of the things I like to do is attract hummingbirds, and the hummingbirds will like these two pentas. So I've got these pentas right here. And then these pinks right here are an African daisy, but let's see. It is Trade Winds Terracotta African Daisy, and it will attract butterflies. So I'll get butterflies and hummingbirds here. Hummingbirds also like this Nicotia, this white, and they also like these little bells. So let me make sure. Super Bells Dreamsicle. So hummingbirds will like that because they like the flowers that have like the little throat in them, so they'll like those. And then this one here is the Superbenia Royal Whitecap, and they also like these verbena type flowers. And then I just love the burgundy of these sweet potato vines. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with this arrangement here. So what I'm going to do is take a picture of it with my iPad so I don't forget what I've got where, and then I'll put them in. Now this fountain grass here will get pretty tall. It'll probably get about 24 inches. So I thought about putting it at the very back, but I just didn't like the look of it. And then also the fact that it's in the pot, it won't have as much room to grow. So that should kind of help keep it somewhat smaller. And I always put an uneven number in. I will use these empty containers to mark where the plants are going to go in. It just kind of helps me to see. And then once I know where they're supposed to go, if I need to add any extra dirt, I can. Or I can just move it around. And then just lift them out and put them in. Squeeze the bottom to release them. Pinch up the roots just a little bit. And then just sit it right there in that area. They just slide right down there in their opening. When I see those gardening shows on TV, everything is so pretty and clean. When I'm outside gardening, it is not clean and it is not pretty. I have dirt everywhere. Things are definitely at 6s and 7s until I get it all cleaned up. I think this is a better choice because of the contrast of foliage and colors. So when we take a look at what I've got in here, these tall ones here are going to be my thrillers, so to speak, because they're going to get anywhere from 14 to 20 inches tall. And this Nicosia, this white one here in the center, it'll be about 12 to 14 inches tall. And then these are just going to kind of fill in here, and this one will spill out, and this one will also spill out, but it'll fill in before it does that. So I've got my thriller, my filler, and then my spiller. So all I need to do to this one is just water it in. So I'm going to go ahead and sit it back in place, and then I'll plant up that one. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but you want to make sure you've got drainage in your pot. So in this particular pot, I did drill 3 holes in the bottom of it, and then also there's holes drilled in the bottom of that one, so you've got good drainage. Now this lavender plant should be quite happy here in this container, and I've got this little bitty petunia here and this little viola, and they both will continue with that purple color scheme, and I just feel like it complements the flower that's up there. So I kind of look at this as all as one piece. So this container is smaller, so I've only got 3 things in it, and since this one is pretty large and will really take up quite a bit of room as it grows, I just put 2 smaller items in with it. And then of course this one is stuffed to capacity, so I have to make sure that I not only water but nourish that one. I really like to make sure that they're watered thoroughly. I like to soak them when I first put them out, and not so much afterwards, but they need a good soaking when they first go into the container. That way the water gets through all those little pockets of soil. So there you have 2 beautiful container gardens. In this one, we've got a multitude of flowers. We've got 7 different plants in there. In this one, we primarily have the lavender with just a little petunia and a little viola, but they're absolutely beautiful. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I plant my container gardens. I wanted to show you that planting a container garden does not have to be hard. The most important considerations are container size, bigger is best, plant selection, and you want to try to make sure you get a good combination of colors, textures, foliage, and particularly lighting and water needs should be similar. And then of course the soil in the pot is also very, very important. So now here's a question for you. What part of either of these arrangements do you find most interesting? Which of these pots would you like to have at your house? Tell me about it in the comments section below. And if you like this video, if you like watching me get my garden situated for the summer, tell me in the comment section below, and then I can make more videos like this. In the meantime, this is Denise Jordan saying goodbye. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.